one important point that we have also proposed in the context of 15-15-15 formula is that the member states should give civil society governance space, making it possible that civil society contributes their resources and also in decision making, but also gives real space. And so we have at this workshop in January that we've had at the UN Church Center, we asked people if they agreed that we would work towards proposing to the Secretary General that the UN system should give this North Lawn here as an area where in the future a Global Challenger Center could be built, where civil society would have a space to meet, where young people who come from around the world would have a place to meet, where local governments would have premises for meetings, the major group secretariats, and easily accessible UN system outreach activities. And so we have proposed this also to the zero draft of the outcome document, and it can be expected that in Rio they will look towards the end of the conference for something that could be demonstrated as some kind of success. And we think that this is such a Global Challenger Center here, giving really a space and a room to civil society could be something that will be attractive towards the end of the negotiations, because for the time being in the outcome document there is no substantial progress or nothing really that could be demonstrated as a big success that justifies this traveling of 50,000 people to Rio. And so our initiatives could, towards the end of the conference, be relatively attractive, because it doesn't put a burden on the national government. It just says, okay, we welcome civil society that wants to contribute and to become active. And you can go into these specific suggestions. There's also, for the use of these 15-15-15 resources, a global forum on innovative resource mobilization for education and science is proposed. Then there are proposed a network of global challenger centers around the world, which would be a point of crystallization for multi-stakeholder partnerships on global commerce growth, which are linked up with the UN system through a shared vision and the global documentation system. It is linked with the issue of education for sustainable development, and in the section of means of implementation, also the aspect of global solidarity and philanthropy and civic engagement are highlighted, which is for the time being not yet foreseen in the outcome document. And there should be also a registry and a compendium of commitments, where we would not only, for the time being, it is focusing very much on national governments, on civil society organizations, but we propose here that all sustainable development resources should be framed as global commons, and that a global documentation system should be developed, which would document all the different types of resources that have been shown in the graphics before, in a central documentation system, and through this motivating also the different stakeholders to become active, even to compete to a certain extent who will contribute more. And this is the our contribution to the zero draft of the outcome document. And in Annex 3 of the issues brief on innovation, you can find our concept development activities with the conferences and workshops that we have had. And it's really one of the unique selling positions of our initiative is that it is really very sophisticated, and it is, has been discussed with leading global governance experts from the Academic Council of the United Nations system. It has been discussed at important conferences with civil society, like for instance at the UNDPI NGO conference in Bonn, and it has been discussed and developed further with youth organizations, and so it's on the conceptual level sound and not in conflict with any of the existing stakeholders. We will really try to work in a way that is symbiotic and complementary. Our main added value is in the field of giving this shared vision, shared global vision, which uses the political window of opportunity of Rio+20 and the global documentation system and quality assurance mechanisms that we are working on. That's our main point. We will also, to get to this really 15 million volunteers and this 15 billions of financial resources, we will partner with peace movements and with spiritual and faith-based NGOs. There was one idea that we could ask children around the world to come up with Rio+20 prayers and commitments for peace and sustainable development, linking it with intergenerational partnerships and with some chain reaction that would be also connected with local communities. Yeah. There's a lot of work, and today is, I have to admit, it's not my best way, so I have my best day. So if you are confused, don't worry, you can ask questions now.